Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Boxing in the red corner tonight with 3 knockouts in his last 5 matches, Johnny Jonathan. And in the blue corner, the strongest man because everyone else is weaker, who will win because he is a winner, undefeated in all fights because he has never lost.
What is the begging the question fallacy? This is the axons. So what does begging the question actually mean? It is an informal fallacy in which the premises of the argument assume the truth of the conclusion instead of providing evidence to demonstrate it. For instance, smoking is bad for you because it negatively affects your body. While we are all aware that smoking damages your airways and lungs, let's not gloss over that previous statement so quickly. See, why it begs the question is that it does not provide additional evidence to back up the claim. Another way of saying smoking is bad for you is that it negatively affects your body. This is a form of circular reasoning where the premise assumes the conclusion just by phrasing the same point in a different way in this scenario. This occurs in the everyday more often than you think. More examples at the end. Just want to say thanks for the support recently. Help us reach our goal of 100 subscribers by subscribing below. The fallacy and the phrase's origin comes from ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle, who was one of the first to systemize errors of logic into a list. When the Romans adapted these writings into Latin, they used the term patriciio principii to name the fallacy, meaning assuming the initial point. Centuries later, in the 1500s, scholars questionably translated the phrase into begging the question. A better translation would have been assuming the conclusion. These days, most people will hear begging the question outside the context of logical fallacies, instead meaning to cause someone to ask a specified question as a reaction or response. For example, this volcano has been dormant for a long time, begging the question of when it will erupt. Some linguists would argue this is an improper use of the term, rather saying a question that begs an answer instead. It's important to note that not everyone is referring to this fallacy when they use the term, correct or not. To understand the fallacy better, it's helpful to look at its logical form. Claim X assumes X is true, therefore claim X is true. Ghosts are real because I experience something that can only be explained through spiritual beings. Asserting something is true because it is true. Now, the fallacy can be difficult to detect, often when the premises are buried within a few sentences of speech. Consider the following. Spicy food is bad. When cooking, it's important not to use chilies because they are hot and thus make the food awful. In this statement alone, no evidence is given why spicy food may be distasteful. Including that capsaicin, the chemical in most chili peppers, tricks the brain into thinking there is something hot in the mouth, providing a pain that some might not like, although more specific than necessary, actually provides an explanation to back up the claim. In summary, and to simplify the begging the question fallacy, this apple is good because it is great. I hope you've learned something new and about someone too. Check out this next video for more. Until next time, catch ya.